Let's make a TBR jar. Welcome back to another video. We've just hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I actually have no words. I've been wanting to make a TBR jar for quite a while, so I thought what better opportunity than to celebrate hitting 1,000 subscribers. So I've got this gorgeous little jar. So this is our jar. I thought I've got a little bit of ribbon, we can like tie that around it. And then I've got some card and some multicoloured fine liner pens. I'm going to draw some lines on the page and then cut them out evenly. So if I put the two pages together and then cut them out. Okay, so let's go then. Let's do like pink, purple, blue, like a kind of golden, red and green. Let's start off with a book that I've put off for a while into the jar. Let's go with a book I wouldn't normally choose, because I have a few books on my shelf that have been gifted to me by other people and they weren't on my TBR, so I kind of have to force myself to read them. So I feel like if the TBR jar chooses it, it's got to be done. Into the jar. A sports romance. A book that will make me cry. Don't ask me what happened to the love heart at the bottom there. Into the jar. Do I need to fold these up like again? I feel like they're kind of like you can see what's in them. Because I can just reuse these, do you know what I mean? They don't have to go in the bin once you've done it, they can just go back into the jar and then I can add more over time as well. And then at least I definitely can't see what's in them. A fantasy book I've been wanting to read. I'm fully getting into my fantasy era this year, so I have quite a lot of fantasy books that I want to read and the TBR is just constantly growing. And I'm very much a mood reader, so I think it would be good for me to kind of get out of my comfort zone and force myself to choose books from a list, because I need to stop scrolling on TikTok basically and adding more to the TBR. I need to get through what I've got already, because at this point the TBR is like longer than my lifespan and it's a little bit worrying. This had to be on the list because mafia romance is my favourite ever. It's my favourite genre of all time and I'll die on that hill. Into the jar. Okay, next. Let's do a Kindle read, because as much as I love my physical books, which I very much do, you can't be reading on your Kindle. Do you know what I mean? With your Kindle holder and your little Kindle clicker when you get into bed and I've got one in my bed and I've got one in my reading chair like here. It's just the ultimate relaxation level, do you know what I mean? A book talk favourite, why not? Into the jar. I might need some more paper, you know. Not sure if I've gone through half yet, but I want to fill this thing. Continue a series I'm halfway through. I don't often stop mid-series. Normally if I start a series, I will power through, but there's a couple where either the other books hadn't come out yet or I didn't have the physical book, so I moved on to something else and I've just not got back round to that particular series, so it'll be good to finally complete those. Read a non-popular book. I feel like I have a few of those on the shelf. Into the jar. Read a thriller. Not my usual genre at all. I read The Housemaid recently and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I was actually quite shocked. And in the past I've read a couple of thrillers that people have bought for me and I thought, oh well obviously I've got to read it. And I have enjoyed them, so I do feel like I enjoy it, but I'm very much a lover girl, so romance is like everything to me, so I do prefer my books with romance in them. But yeah, thrillers, there's something to be said there. A Penelope Douglas book. I've got a lot on my shelf that I need to get through. I've read a lot of her work and I really, really love her books. I do have a few on my shelf that I need to get to, so this will force me. A dark romance by an indie author. I really love dark romance and I'm all for supporting indie authors. I'm sure there's some fantastic ones out there that I still need to get to, so. A book with a red cover. If I don't have one on my shelf that I've not read, I can find one on Kindle, easy. An age gap romance, because why is it so good? Why is it so good? A book by Jennifer Hartman. I have a few on my shelf that I really have been meaning to get to, but because I am a mood reader, I don't know why, I just don't pick them up, but I know they're going to be good, and I do want to read them. This is where I annoy myself. I do need to get to them. A shifter romance. I love a good shifter romance, and it doesn't have to be just like werewolf shifters either. Just, oh yeah, just hits. I used to read a lot of like werewolf fantasy as a teenager. I have always enjoyed reading about shifters. Do you know what else I've always enjoyed reading about? Fated mates. Into the jar. A book with a person on the cover. These tend to be Kindle books. I'm not really a fan of books with people on the covers. Not the books themselves, I don't like the covers like that, but the books are generally really good, so I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. A Formula One romance. I do have some on my shelf actually, which I've been wanting to get to because I feel like it'll be good. I really enjoy like sports, or do you know what I mean? Those types of romances, they just, something about them just gets me. So I feel like Formula One, why not? A book that I've heard nothing about. I mean, that'll be easy done. You just scroll on Goodreads and pick anything. That could backfire, actually. The first book in a series. A book with an animal on the cover. An MM romance. Oh, MM romance does things to me. I don't know what it is, I just go feral for it, but it has to be obviously written well. Like God of Fury, everything to me. Enemies to lovers romance. Enemies to lovers is my favourite trope. Nothing will ever, ever, ever be enemies to lovers for me. It just won't. An MC romance. I'm actually writing a Motorcycle Club series. I'm on book 2. I've completed book 1. But yeah, I'm writing book 2, and motorcycle romance hits, you know? I have actually read some really good Motorcycle Club romance series over the years. So yeah, maybe I want to explore a bit more. A book from an underrated author. Into the jar. A book that's been made into a film or TV show. A book I've been really excited about. I feel like I have a lot I could choose from for that one. A book I haven't wanted to read. Let's force myself out of my comfort zone, because that's how you discover new things. Into the jar. A book rec from a friend. Last one, a cowboy romance. Okay. We have filled the jar. So let's get my ribbon on it. So there we are. That is not too shabby, if I do say so myself. I'm really hoping that I will get some good reads out of this, so yeah. That was really fun to do, I'm not gonna lie. If you don't already subscribe to me, please do so, because I do post videos every single week, and if you made it this far, then as always, thank you so much for watching.